Good morning, afternoon, evening, everybody, depending on where you're joining us from the world. Welcome to Fort Worth. Welcome to Texas Motor Speedway. The beginning of the round of 12 in the ARCS A Cup Series playoffs begins here. And we're glad to show you here on ABN Esports 1. I'm Carmen, Sienna, alongside me, as always, Kevin Young, to present tonight's action here from Texas. Everything's bigger and there's no limits here in Texas. That's the slogan here at the Speedway. Kevin, what are we looking at tonight?
Well, it's the next round that we just saw last week, the round of 16 come to its conclusion. Now we're on to the round of 12. 4 drivers were eliminated, and now 12 drivers are fighting for a chance to punch their ticket to the round of 8 and continue on the train to a championship. But for the track itself, it's going to be an interesting affair here. Texas has gotten some hate in recent years with how it has driven, and it's going to be interesting to see how these cars handle this surface, as it's basically kind of a middle-ish groove track. We're going to see a lot of drivers also pinch lower side. You're not going to see many people on the high side unless they're getting passed on said high side. But it's going to be quite a fun race to see, and it's going to be probably the normalest round that these drivers are going to have to deal with in the next 3 rounds of the round of 12.
Absolutely, 1.5 miles, the lap length here around the Texas Motor Speedway. Similar to what we see at Charlotte, Atlanta, but completely different profiling. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, both sides of the track not symmetrical anymore. Turns 3 and 4, the traditional higher banking. Turns 1 and 2, wider, but not as banked. Gives more, in theory, more lanes to try to make something happen. We'll see how it goes with this next-gen car here tonight. 78 degrees, the air temp, 121 degrees, the track temperature. Very hot, but not a lot of humidity and not a lot of wind. Should help out the drivers as far as handling goes here this evening. Points as they run. There's a reset here in the point standings, and it's marked here, and you'll see this coding in color throughout the week, throughout the playoffs, really. Those that are left in the playoffs are marked in red. Those that are not in the playoffs anymore are marked in black. We've reset everyone's points to what it was. So everyone that is now in the top 12, the round of 12, they've moved up to 3,000 points. We've demoted everyone back down to 2,000 points just to keep it simple for Leiter, Withers, Braille, and Purnell. So they're back to 2,000 points. In theory, we're just not calculating their points for the time being because that is a hassle. Yeah, it makes it a lot harder for us trying to calculate non-playoff and playoff drivers now in this mix-up here. What is important to know is that all 3 teammates for Sunday Money Racing in the playoffs all start out with a 5-point bonus, having all won in the previous round, the round of 16. They've got that leg up here. Will they need it? Brent Roberts, who won the opening round in the round of 16, won this race last year. We'll see if he can do that again and make it a back-to-back here at Texas. But it's going to be interesting. Daniel Michel, his teammate and provisional points leader, top of the board in qualifying here with a couple minutes left to play.
Yep, Sunday Money Racing has kind of lit a fire as the playoffs have started here. They've been quite a strong team. They've been quite a strong team throughout the season. Let's not take that away from them. But they have been kicking it into a higher and higher gear as the playoffs have started here, and they have firmly kind of cemented themselves as a team to watch out for in this playoffs, with 3 basically sweeping the round of 16 and now looking to make it a 4-for-4 for a Sunday Monday Racing driver to win. And right now with Michelle leading the way, it looks likely for that at least be happening at the time being. Obviously, Gaiman, Sears, Featherplace, Feemster, that top 5 right now in qualifying, none of them are Sunday Monday Racing drivers, and they're going to look to try to take a stop to their domination. One more thing that worth noting as well, like we went over with the standings, top 3 get a 5-point advantage, but everyone else from 4th all the way back, so Gaiman to Stefan Oberstadt, all tied at 3,000. So this is definitely a race you do not want to have a mistake at, because it could put you in a hole for the next 2 rounds. And Talladega obviously being a roll of the dice next week. And then the Charlotte Roval, we know some drivers definitely have that circled on their calendars. Others know they want to have as big of a cushion as they can going into that weekend or win today or Talladega, because they know road courses aren't their strong suit. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how this all shakes out for the most part. But it's going to be a quite exciting next 3 weeks as we see the championship progresses. And with a minute to go in qualifying, every driver has elected to do a run except Tommy Withers, who's still in the pit lane, who is not going to make it out on the track. So it's going to be Michelle leading off for pole position.
Again, a reminder for those that have been in and out this season with the A Cup Series, in the playoffs, there are no qualifying heat races, as we call them. So your qualifying position is where you're going to be starting this race from, and this bodes well for Sunday Monday Racing once again, 1st and 3rd with Michelle and Roberts just setting that third place time there behind Josh Gaiman, separated by mere milliseconds there between second and third. Much more interesting, Seth Wanzing, a struggle here in qualifying, 17th place. He is the lowest qualified playoff driver right now, and that's going to be that way. Tommy Withers no longer in the playoffs, having missed last week, crucially, missed by 12 points. That is a very crucial miss for Withers, but he's going to start at the back of the field tonight to give us 20 cars here at Texas.
Yep. Quick way, we're going to get 5 minutes of warm up here, so it's going to be interesting. Again, takes opportunity to practice pit rate entry and exit, as race control Matthew Kent always likes to let the drivers know it's good to practice that, because these cars can be a bit of a handful sometimes to get down the pit lane. Some tracks obviously easier, like Pocono. This track being a little bit more on the trickier side, especially with the banking at the 1.5 mile oval here. But yeah, gonna be some last minute laps here, last minute adjustments. Some are gonna use the bathrooms, but it's gonna be quite interesting to see, as it's the calm before the storm. And the storm, it's going to be many laps here in Texas, about 134 to be exact. You can see right there, 3 cars, almost 3 wide, the 21, the 9, and the 23 there in a little shot. Yeah. We'll see a little side-by-sides here as we kind of get some good scenic cams as we follow that little 3-pack right there.
Yeah, following that group along. Might as well, while we have a little bit of time, kind of walk through some of the changes incoming for next year. Obviously, the A-Sport Cup Series follows the NASCAR Cup Series calendar. 36 races plus the exhibitions. Makes it pretty interesting, but it looks like they might be doing away with the charters that we've seen this year. This season, for those that aren't aware, there's 7 teams that were allowed to have entries into the series. That appears to possibly be changing going into next year, so it'll be interesting to see how much of that shakes up the driver market pool going into 2024.
Yeah, it'd be quite interesting to note, because we know, obviously, the season started, we had the draft where the 7 teams selected 4 drivers each, and then 1 part-time driver to have in 2 rounds selected. So it's gonna be quite interesting to see if that goes away, and it's either open season for drivers that can enter, or it's going to be a point where it's considered the best time. Obviously, there's still kinks that need to be worked out, but it's gonna be quite interesting to see what they do. And I think at the end of the day, it will definitely be still interesting to see, as a lot of talented drivers have, as A-Squared, as they want it to be, was a series where the best drivers would get picked for the series, race in it, and be competitive week in and week out. And it's done that, so it'll be interesting to see how they can keep that competitive field strength going, as we've seen some great constructor battles between B-Tron, Sunday Monday Racing, and Line Power, just to name a few. And it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out with next year's calendar. And also, obviously, with the real-life NASCAR calendar also not being released yet, and with some possible surprises maybe on the horizon with certain tracks, it's going to be quite interesting to see how the schedule changing could affect, because obviously with Texas possibly being remastered or repaved possibly in the future, obviously not next season, we may see Texas race different in the future if this series goes that long. So overall, it's going to be quite interesting to see what the future holds.
Yeah, absolutely. Tommy Reynolds top of the board in warm-up ahead of Wanzing, and then Emma Kruger. Kruger practicing pit entry here. I saw everyone doing there a little bit ago. I saw Reynolds and Daniel Michelle practicing pit entry earlier. This is your last chance before the end of stage 1 to grab yourself a snack. So please do so at your earliest convenience, because it is about to get pretty interesting. This race was a lot of fun last season. We'll see if it is the same level of competitiveness that we saw when this man sitting on your screen, Bryn Roberts, got his first win. Bryn Roberts went on a tear in this part of the calendar last season. Him and his then teammate, Jacob Blankenship, swept the entire round. So, as Robert's going to try to get down pit lane here, do the commitment cone. Locks up a little bit, but looks like he's good there. Green flag pit stops expected in tonight's race with how competitive the field has been. With 20 seconds left and counting, we're going to step aside for a second, get a drink. Don't go anywhere because the Fort Worth 200 is coming up right here on ABN Esports 1. Alrighty, it's time for the Fort Worth 200 here at Texas Motor Speedway. Daniel Michel and Josh Gaiman at the front of the field. Phileas to green ahead of Bryn Roberts and Tom Sears. Brandon Fetterplace and Kevin Feemster in row 3. Brandon Proudfoot in row number 4 alongside David Wright. Row 5, Tommy Reynolds and Stephen Oberstadt before Donald Ray and Patrick Oberstadt make up row number 6. Looking further down the starting order here, you got Ryan Pennell and James Kerr in row 7. Row 8, Elvis George and Emma Kruger. Seth Wanzing and Austin Mongold, the last of those qualifying times there in row 9, just ahead of Edward Marshall and Tommy Withers in row 10. 20 cars, 10 rows, taking on No Limits Texas. As the field begins to roll.
Yep, you can say that again. Top 6 first 3 rows are all playoff drivers with Proudfoot. He's been kind of a bit of a spoiler, if you will. These past couple rounds, been the highest non-playoff driver running. Obviously, as the playoffs go on, that list will grow and grow. But right now, Proudfoot has been a good godsend, if you will, for Presidential Racing, who has done a lot of good finishes, has been consistently strong in that 22 car, and is definitely helping the constructors. So Proudfoot, even though he is not fighting for championship, is looking to get his first win in the A-Square Cup Series. And it looks like he could be in a situation here today, but the playoff drivers are definitely going to try to box him out of that one.
It's going to be an interesting conversation, to say the least. Sunny Money Racing have looked strong all playoffs long. Can they continue that streak here at Texas Motor Speedway? You see all 20 cars as they roll into turn 3 under formation. High banks there in turns 3 and 4. Does this prove critical to tonight's race here at Texas Motor Speedway? The pace car will pull into pit lane. Michelle, Gaiman, Robertson, Sears, top 4 through the tri-oval. Green flag is in the air, and the Fort Worth 200 is underway. We're racing in Texas.
I see one car low on the apron. They're trying to get a bit of an advantage here. They're almost going to be
Donald
3
Ray.
wide in the back there. Yep, Donald Ray, Kerr, and George all in that little 3 wide scuffle there. Looks like they'll try to get it sorted out here, but as we complete lap 1, Josh Gaiman is going to lead it with Michelle in tow and Feather Place, and then a battle for 5th. You can see right there 2 wide between Roberts and Reynolds.
Oh,
And Proudfoot,
Proudfoot
Roberts,
got
and Reynolds.
loose. Proudfoot got very loose there in the interior, in the middle of 1 and 2.
Reynolds looking for a way to go here. Going to get right between him and Sears. Ooh, a little blink there. Always a bit sketchy, especially when you can cut the distance by millimeters in certain situations. Everyone getting kind of spaced out here, knowing it's a long race ahead of us with 2 stage breaks coming in between. You don't want to end up wrecking, but right there, little up the racing surface, that's Ryan Pennell with David Wright behind. He left the door open for Stefan Oberstadt there. Try to make something happen, but cannot do so. So they'll stay single file, and everyone will keep their positions. And now right on board here with Seth Wanzing in the number 9 here.
Already have 2 spots from 17th to 15th, working on 14th place, James Kerr.
Yeah, one last round, won the in the last round of 16 there, won at Kansas, won the second race of the season. He's had a bit of a poor qualifying run the past couple weeks, but always knows how to get his way up to the front when he needs to. And we will probably see that thing on the move here. He's going to have it still on the inside here, the 75. He should be able to complete the pass this time by... as if people successfully clear there. And now he's going to try to make it... there won't be a 2-for-1 special, but we'll try to get around the 41 as well here. And make it so basically the top... with that top 13 cars minus Proudfoot are all going to be playoff drivers if he can get around that 41.
Again, Wanzing and Kruger were the 2 lowest qualifying playoff drivers. Both of them have already made their way up.
Yeah, Wanzing, again, this is kind of his strength, is these ovals here. We know this is probably, out of 3 rounds, probably the track. Obviously, everyone feels confident at Talladega, so it's kind of a bit of a stretch. But we know this Felix is a good track and get points down. Speaking of the other driver you mentioned between Wanzing and Kruger, Emma Kruger, obviously, maybe not her strongest track here, as Wanzing's going to make a move here. But obviously, with the Roval being in this round, but Emma Kruger's no slouch on ovals. As the rounds have gone on, she has slowly gotten better and better and better. And look at last week in Bristol, when the pressure was on, she was running top 5 most of the night. So she knows she's found a way to get around it, even though there's certain ovals like Darlington that are quite a trickiness for her. But right now, 3 playoff drivers in this little battle here. Emma Kruger trying to maybe take the long way around here on Ryan Pinnell. And Wanzing's ready to pick the lane that feels like they'll get the most confidence and try to make a pass on one of these playoff drivers. Looks like Emma Kruger will successfully get around Ryan Pinnell, and Steph Wanzing, seeing that may be the way to get around here, try to follow suit. Look at that, so close
between
there.
the 2 there, and Ryan Pinnell just got loose. Just broke loose, and that's going to be a yellow.
Yep. Patrick Oberstein involved. There's Edward Marshall. Gets a piece of that as well. Yeah, and that is going to be an early fast repair burn for the 12 at the very least.
We saw him struggling early on in this race. He was falling backwards pretty quickly, and he's going to go jump back to pit lane.
Yeah.
Just overall, not a good showing there for the 12 car. Not the right way you want to put yourself into the round of 12. And we're going to kind of go through this because him and Wanzing, side by side. Wanzing had the advantage across the start-finish line. And you're going to slow it down here. Pinnell tries to get it to go down to the white line. It just, I don't think it sticks. It doesn't stick because you see him drift up above that seam. Right into Wanzing there. They get really close. If they don't make contact, that is a shocker right there.
Yeah, it almost looks like, they're touching right there.
They definitely make contact there. Wanzing just ended up better of it. Pinnell breaks loose. Saw him break loose the lap before while on board. He was a little bit further up the track, though. And then it just overcorrects, and Oberstadt's got nothing he can do about that.
Yeah, you can see there's James Kerr. He's also going to get a piece there, hit right on the tire, the left front tire there. You can see the 4 Mongold will avoid it, though. The rest of the field, except Edward Marshall, had get nowhere to go. Was on that high line, and once the accident happened, he was kind of hoping maybe they clear something. Alfred George would get around as well. But, yeah, 4 cars involved there. Obviously, Ryan Pinnell, only playoff driver involved in that incident, but all 4 are going to have to come down. And at the very least, I know Ryan Pinnell obviously going to go 1 down at the very least because of the toe. And we'll have to burn a fast repair at the very least. Meanwhile, the rest of the field, we'll see Edward Marshall, James Kerr, and Patrick Oberstein who actually burned a fast repair. So Kerr and Marshall, we'll see if either looks like they're going to fix up their damage. So they will elect to keep the fast repair in the back pocket. Other cars to come in noteworthy under that caution were Tommy Withers, Alfred George, as they elected to come in and get a little bit off sequence here in stage number 1. Everyone else, hang out. Choose is going to happen right here as we're on the 2 to go to 1 to go here. So we'll see choose an effect. Now, obviously, it's kind of indicative here, as we usually, when a lot of drivers like to pick one lane, usually indicative to see where the strongest lane in the restart is. But if they usually go even odd, then it can be a indicative that neither lane really has an advantage. So right off the line here, Game and Michelle will take the first front row, lock it out. Then it's going to be Proudfoot taking the inside, and it's going to be Feather Place on the outside. So basically 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 for the most part. It looked like a few extra cars on that inside line groove. Elected, well, as position-wise, I should say, elected to go high instead of low. But it's going to be Game and Michelle, first row, Feather Place, Proudfoot, Roberts, Reynolds, Sears, Feemster, Overstat, Wright. That'll be your first 5 rows here as we get ready for a restart on lap number 12.
Remember, the stage 1 ends on lap 35 here tonight. 35 and 70, the stage breaks.
All right, so pace car is going to get ready here. They are going to pull off here. It's going to be on Gaiman's control. Flag is out and away we go. Gaiman gets a great launch there. He'll be well ahead of the 25. Everyone else going to slot in here, second, third, and so on. Oh, right there, car sideways. That looks like it's Reynolds. And he'll keep it saved. Wonder what caused that incident, whether he got loose or got a little bit of a help there.
He definitely got a little bit of help there. I believe it may have been from the 34 Feather Place.
You would be, actually, it was Tom Sears.
Oh, it's Tom Sears.
Yep. Sears got on the inside a little bit, it looks like, and it kind of sent maybe an up-down situation, but it was Sears and Reynolds. Yeah. It was a line power machine, though, but again, good save there. Good call by Sears. Good call by Reynolds. Make sure no one else piles on in. We stay green. Speaking of Reynolds there, he is fighting with Austin Mongold right now. It's P12 they're battling for. They're getting a little racy up front here as Proudfoot's making a move on Michelle here. Top 3 all in a bubble here. You can see here, Proudfoot wants second here, but just cannot seal the deal on the run. But he got a great run down going through the trial over here. We'll see if he can get it re-geared up. You'll see Roberts there in the distance. So 2 Sunday Money Racing cars, a B-Tron and a Presidential Racing in this top 4 little battle here. Looks like it has calmed down, at least for now. We'll cut a little bit further back here. We'll see. We'll check on the battle here. It looks like it's going to be the battle for David Wright, Tommy Reynolds. That's 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. We're watching now actually a little further back here. This is Donna Wright, Patrick Oberstadt, and James Kerr. 15th, 16th, and 17th, respectively. Watching the battle for 15th here as Ray and Oberstadt. Remember, Patrick Oberstadt was involved on the opening lap incident. Burned a fast pair. And now, looking to try to get his way back up to the spots he lost. Just running outside the top 10 for the caution came out. It looks like he will successfully take back P15, so now he's in the top 15. There's Reynolds going hard into the corner there. Wants a spot, knows he's got a top 10 machine, wants to get back in the top 10, and is taking no prisoners here. Reynolds loves to drive a little bit aggressive, and he'll get back up to 11th in that number 7 machine.
Remember that these two had a run in at Richmond that David Wright used to get into the playoffs. So no love really lost here between those two. They're going to race each other a little bit harder.
Yeah. Ooh, little puff of smoke there, just ahead, but looks like no harm, no foul. Everybody's still single file here, so you see a bit of a train forming. Looks like it's
I believe that smoke was latency.
Yeah, maybe. Just up the road here, we got Brandon Featherplace kind of holding up a bit of a train here. You see the ill effects here. Featherplace, Kruger, Sears, all three line power machines behind one car here. So I wonder if maybe, again, maybe a little bit of radio communication here, maybe something kind of let him know, hey, you're holding up a line here. Let's see if a new person ahead can try. But since all three are in the playoffs, the Abs don't want to allow a teammate to fall back. Oh, 21 Culver corrects into the wall there. But we'll cut back up. Yeah, he'll be okay, though. He did hit a ton, though, as you see him lose spots. We'll cut back up to battle for second here as you were pointing that out. Proudfoot chipping away on Michelle here as Gaiman has drove away a little bit here. Got 8/10 away from this battle for second. Proudfoot going to try to send it in again.
The more these two battle, the more that Gaiman's going to get away.
Yep. Obviously, Proudfoot doesn't, because again, with stages, they can reset the field. Obviously, Proudfoot not really caring about that all too much. Just wanting, if he feels like he's faster, and he's going to want to get around and try to chase down Gaiman. But right now, cannot do that successfully. He's going to get a good run here. He'll try it again. Dallas in the distance, you see a battle there between, looks like Featherplace and Sears, but we'll focus on this battle here for second. As Proudfoot, see, he gets a good run off the corner, but it looks like he kind of bottles out in the corners. They'll still be side by side here. Michelle's able to kind of keep the foot in it. You know, Robert's kind of just sitting in the back there, just watching, idling, kind of just seeing what happens here. We'll cut back here. Looks like it is Stefan Oberstadt, Seth Wansing. This is around 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, respectively, on track. Sorry, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th,
They were
12th.
3 wide, and Wansing picked off 2 of them in one go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wansing going forward there. Oh, look at that right there. That's Reynolds. Gonna get past by Featherplace. Featherplace, we saw him kind of hold up Emma Kruger Sears in that little train. It looks like he is starting to sink. Wonder what is wrong with that 34 car here at the moment. He is not feeling comfortable right now, I should say, as he is sinking like a stone.
Very possible that Featherplace just is not dialed in the opening stanza of this race. These cars will adjust as the run goes on. Maybe he's got a little bit longer run car.
Maybe. I'll have to keep an eye on him at the moment because, with, again, the field being so close, remember, 4th through 12th, all tied at 3,000. This is not the opening round you want to have a bad run in and be in a spot. Look at Ryan Pinnell, currently 20th, and with being 2 down, he is on the fast track to get no stage points in either stage. There's, at the minimum, points lost already through 2 stages. And with Featherplace right now, currently P10 at the moment. Right now, 11th, Kevin Feemster, driver in the playoffs. 1 point could be a swing here, and next thing you know, at least at the end of the first stage, Featherplace is currently outside the playoff round of 12. Obviously, with more stages to go and many races, that can easily change, but not the way you want to start here. But we'll see if that 34 can get dialed back in as the stage ends, like you said, on 35. So keeping his nose in there. You can also see Mongol there in that Reams machine. Ooh, look at that, just up the surface there. Gonna come back down. Feemster got a little loose there, sent both up the racing surface, and Featherplace is going to keep spot now. Maybe with a little bit of breathing room, he can get that kind of dial back in. We'll cut back up here to Reynolds and Kruger here, fighting for 7th, as Reynolds had that opening lap, not opening lap incident, but had the second lap 12 incident here, trying to rebound here. Have it pinch on the apex of the corner here, should shoot off here, and I think he will get clear of Emma Kruger this time by. He will. So Tommy Reynolds will be now up to 7th position. Emma Kruger will fall down to 8th and could fall into the clutches here of Stefan Oberstadt here, as he is there with a fender near the corner panel, but not close enough. But they still will be, actually it looks like Kruger will hold on, at least for now, but could easily see Stefan Oberstadt make a charge here. One further back here, we got David Wright and Kevin Feemster and Brandon Featherplace. Featherplace still holding on to the last points paying stage position in P10. David Wright obviously want to try to get into the top 10 here, along with Kevin Feemster. We'll cut to the nice bumper camera here. We've seen this a little bit in the HTL Cup Series, and it gives you kind of a good little indicator here See how it works. We'll cut back now to full perspective here. That's right, just not getting the run he needs to make it happen. At the moment. Battle box there showing you for positions. Looks like now Wright's going to go around the outside here. 2 for 2. 10th and 11th, 12th and 13th. Looks like Feems is going to get held a little bit by Feather Place's a little slow pace. That's going to allow Patrick to go around the outside. Possible here, a 2 for 1 special. With a big loser being, looks like the 34. Now we'll cut back up here with Emma Kruger. And Stefan Oberstadt here, as Oberstadt is going to get around the 70 machine. So yeah, Feather Place going wrong way quickly here. They're getting a little bit racy up here for third between Proudfoot and Roberts as well. As he's not really missing anything for the lead here. As Gaiman is 1 point, as you can see on the battle box to the left there. Gaiman and Michelle gap 1.3. Here you can see Austin Mongold and Kevin Feemster there. Feemster looking to get clear. He will clear the 4 here. Feemster will hold on to 13th. Back up to second, third, and fourth here. Roberts got tired of waiting here. Keeping an eye on this battle. He's slowly chipping away at that 22 here. Shell's kind of held down the fort for second, and now Roberts looking to make it a third here. But Proudfoot keeping the car competitively in the right spots, not allowing that one to get the runs he needs to really have a chance at an attack. Ooh, Michelle goes up the track just a little bit. That's going to open the door for Proudfoot here. Still side by side going into 3 here. Proudfoot should get the run out of the corner he needs, though. But as I say that, looks like it's a little above the racing surface. Proudfoot could have a chance here going into 1. But Michelle's going to clear. And now Robert's going to try to take the long way around, but it looks like Michelle goes a little bit loose there. Cleared too early. Proudfoot, little sideways there. Racing hard here. Well, that little bobble there we saw out of 2, that's going to open the door for Proudfoot to lose 2 spots. Well, a spot, I should say, not 2 spots. He wasn't ahead of Michelle. Michelle Roberts will take second and third, and Proudfoot, the big loser there, going to end up losing big. 2 to go here in the stage. Lap 34 stage will end 2 laps time. Cut back to here, David Wright. McCruger. This is the battle for like near the end of the state, and near the end of the line here. As Emma Kruger's right now the last driver in the top 10. Her and Patrick Oberstadt fighting for 1 point in the stage. You can also see up there Roberts and Michelle side by side in that little indicator as well in that left pylon. So 1 to go in the stage. Once Gaiman crosses the line, next time by will end the stage. The question is who will be ahead at that time. Looks like Patrick will get clear of Emma Kruger. And as Gaiman's coming around here through 3 and 4, we'll see here if Michelle can get the run he needs. Gaiman crosses the line, and it's going to be Michelle, then Roberts, then Proudfoot, Sears, Wansing, Reynolds, Oberstadt, Wright, Stefan Oberstadt, Wright, and Patrick Oberstadt. That will be the top 10 in the stage number 1 here. Two non-playoff drivers will end up getting stage points here. We should see pit stops once it opens next time by. Now, while we were watching that battle, I noticed Ryan Pinnell towed back to pit lane here. It looks like he had an incident on lap 29 for him anyway in his
I
counter.
was actually about to dig that back up and look for it here.
Okay, yep. 29 coming to the start-finish line. It's a little loose going in the tri-oval. So there you can already see the end piece there. So obviously Ryan Pinnell was, I think, 1 down at the point, or 2. You can see him get a little loose and just, smacks that wall hard on the passenger side and comes down here, and then he'll actually get a black here too, just add insult to injury. But luckily gets that cleared as it was not intentional. But has to tow back. Now his fast priority kind of burned. He's now kind of just trying to fix the car the best he can and hope more chaos happens, but being at least 4 down at the moment is not a start that Ryan Pinnell wants. It's probably going to be needs a good haul of points at both Talladega and the Roval if he wants to make himself to around a 12. But as you can see, one car taking the wave around that was James Kerr. The rest of the field will come on in for service. See who wins the race off pit lane. And it's going to be Gaiman, Michelle, Roberts, Proudfoot, Sears, Wanzing, Wright, Reynolds, Patrick Oberstadt, Stefan Oberstadt will be your top 10 coming off the pit lane.
Look at points as they run after the end of stage 1.
So you'll see here on the points.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, you can see right there, Dave Michelle, obviously, with that little advantage along with him. Ben Roberts still hold 1-2 down. Steph Wanzing will keep 3rd because of the 5-point advantage as well. Gaiman, who won the stage, is now up to 4th. Then it's Sears, Reynolds, Oberstadt, Wright will be the top 8 here. As Featherplace, Feemster, Emma Kruger, and Ryan Pinnell, obviously with Pinnell, Kruger, and Feemster, and Featherplace not scoring stage points, they will be the first 4 out, at least at the end of stage 1 here. But with the gap from 12th to 8th right now only being 2 points, and then 7th being 3, a good stage 2 here can definitely bring you back into it. So should not fear if you're low right now. But right now, that 5-point advantage is helping Michelle, Roberts, and Wanzing as they're 1, 2, 3 still, respectively. So we're going to see Choose come up this time by. Choose will be in effect. Last time we saw them, they go basically kind of normal procedure, if you will, out, in, out, in, out, in. So we'll see if they follow that plan here. See right there, Game will take the low line, Michelle will take the high line. Let's go over how they line up here. It's gonna be Game, Michelle, Roberts, Proudfoot, Sears, Wanzing, Wright, Reynolds, Oberstadt, and Patrick, Stefan Oberstadt and Patrick Oberstadt. That will be your first 5 rows here. 17 cars. Actually, 18 cars still running at the moment, all 18 on the lead lap. Marshall just came down pit lane. He is also on the lead lap. He should be coming out soonish. But with the long damage clock right now, we'll see what happens to that 16. Ryan Pinnell only car right now. Multiple down. as he may come back out because he's still in the race, but that car is definitely going to be very wounded. And with Marshall having a long damage clock here as well, wondering what is wrong with that 16. But regardless of that, 18 in this pack as we're watching as pace car is ready to pull off here. We're going to get ready to start stage number 2. And here we go. Gaming gets a great launch. Now the Mad jostles for positions. Well, at the end of stage 1, listen to the pedal still on here between Michelle, Proudfoot, and Roberts. See right there in pack number 2. No, not pack 2. Battle for second, third, fourth there. You can see still side by side. Wanzing was charged away for the field here, looking to try to get into the top 5. Well, in the top 5, looking to get 4th position here. Sears and Reynolds there as well. In the race, he has 1, 2, 3 have kind of gotten themselves sorted here at the meantime. Ride on board here with Tommy Reynolds. It's been a long dry spell for the number 7 machine. The last win came to the Chicago Street Course. He was looking well on pace to be in contention of breaking Breo's single season win record, but has had a very cool last 2 months here. He's looking to try to break that dry spell here as he was a championship favorite, still is a championship favorite, but getting a win would definitely help turn the tides right now to the number 7. As it looks like him and Brent Roberts still side by side here. Looking to get clear. Should be able to possibly get the run here. Ooh, Roberts still a little bump from Sears, and he's going to spin it here. Roberts around the middle of the field. No caution yet. One car, and then we'll get tagged by Donald Ray, and that will trigger the caution. So Sears accidentally gave a little bump to the one. One couldn't save it. It's kind of similar to happened with Ryan Pinnell. The difference is, well, similar spin for Ryan Pinnell. The only difference is less cars able to hit the one, unless the one's a little less damaged. We'll take a look at the replay here. You're going to see it. Sears is behind here. We'll cut to a blimp camera to give us a good little angle here. You can see just going in the corner right there. Just a little tap there by Sears. Gets the one a little out of shape. You can see he has it saved here for a second. And then it starts to kick again. And then it overcorrects the other direction. It goes a little loose and he tries to overcorrect it. Thing spins. At this point, he's just a passenger, hoping no one hits him. And for the most part, everyone is able to avoid him. There you can see Edward Marshall. There you can see 23 of Withers. So on and so forth, all escaping through here. There's a 21 Feemster, but Donna Ray was in the middle there trying to battle Feemster and nowhere for the 50 to go. We'll smack him a ton there and basically T-bone him. Luckily, no one else will get involved here. Everyone else will successfully avoid it, but obviously Donna Ray not too happy to be the one that ends up hitting the one there. So Robert there misses the pit box there, but luckily was able to drive it around. So we'll not have to lose time due to towing. Only 2 cars electing to pit here are 2 cars that are involved in the incident. Everyone else staying up. It looks like Roberts and Ray will both elect to fix damage here instead of burning fast repairs. Yeah, it's a little bit of a reset here. Should help. We saw Wanzi try to get his way up to the front here. Now he'll be P4 instead of a little bit further back. I think he was P6 or 7 at the time of the previous caution. End of the stage, I should say. So it should be at the very least giving us a little more of a track position. Him and Reynolds. We'll see what they can do with it. So Choose will be next time by, so we got the 2 to go here. Marshall elects to come down pit lane again, along with Ryan Pinnell. So Ryan Pinnell did get back out on the surface, but coming back in again.
Marshall still has not used his fast repair, so
Yeah.
but also kind of indicates how much damage that 16 car has.
Mm-hmm. But it does look like he feels, I don't know if confidence is the word, but it feels like he can kind of, it's not damaged enough that he feels like he needs to burn yet, or he feels like there's going to be more chaos that he doesn't feel like he wants to do it. So see Marshall there leave the pit lane, and Ryan Pinnell will head out as well. So Choose going to be in effect here. Gaiman's most likely going to take the inside, as he's going to take the dude there. He'll go again. A little bit of a late Choose there, but looks like he'll be okay for the most part. Michelle will obviously go high here. Then it's going to be Proudfoot, Reynolds, Wanzing, Stefan Oberstadt, Sears, Patrick Oberstadt, Withers, and Wright. That will be actually Withers and Feather Place. Oh, Gaiman just got an EOL for a late Choose. So Gaiman's going to go to the back here. Late Choose. Thought it was a little bit late, and that will be indicative. So he will now base promote the 22 up to the front.
And his tail end of the longest line, which would be the inside lane.
So control is now going to be on the 25 here. Still have control in the restart instead of obviously Gaiman, who's no longer there. No one else did get a penalty, so everyone else was clean. That's going to be a shakeup here. Pacer going to pull off. Green flag is out, and away we go.
Good start by Michelle.
Proudfoot going to follow suit there. Get the second. Reynolds will get the third. So here's side by side with Stefan Oberstadt there. It's pretty much a lot of cars too wide back there, a little bit in the distance. You know, we saw last week at Bristol, Michelle was able to get a lot of clean track, open space, and he was able to run away, but this time, not as dominant here in Texas. Proudfoot, Reynolds, and the rest of the field keeping him honest. Proudfoot has not led many laps. Had a good stretch of laps led at Watkins Glen, but ever since coming to the series after that, he's been up to the front, hasn't led a lot of laps. Obviously, wanted to change that here. So he thinks he can get around that 25. Wanzing also going to make a move here on Reynolds. Still racing here. Proudfoot not giving up here. Knows if he can't get it done, next man up is going to probably be Reynolds, so he knows he's got to try to get the job done. Proudfoot's gonna have a chance here. Again, Reynolds just kind of picking his lane here. He's trying to see what lane may go fast here to get the run off. Basically kind of betting on the horse here. He's got choice. If he thinks Michelle's going to win this battle, should be faster, should stay on the high side. If he thinks Proudfoot's gonna be faster, stay on the low side. Wanzing obviously gonna follow suit on the other side here. Michelle and Proudfoot will settle their differences at least for now, and so will Reynolds and Wanzing. So still 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. There in the distance there, you can see a battle for 8th. As you can see, Featherplace and Overstat fighting. Sorry, 7th, I should say. Battle for 7th, as Withers is currently at 9th. But Proudfoot again gets the run this time, and it looks like he should be able to clear. Still there. Looks like Michelle's going to have to lead the space, and it's going to be enough. Proudfoot finally going to get around that 25, and he will lead that lap on 55. And now going to try to set sail here. Michelle now could be under attack pressure here from Reynolds. See back here, we're keeping a battle on for the battle with Sears, Patrick Overstat, Featherplace, and Withers. It looks like it's a battle for 7th. There's Withers as well in the distance. But for second, though, Reynolds is making a move on Michelle here. Reynolds on the inside of Michelle here, going into 1. I think Reynolds should be able to get the job done here. Right there, you can see in the back foreground there, Reynolds almost had it there, but not going to get it clear. As we focus on this battle for 7th here, Overstat and Featherplace. Patrick Overstat. Featherplace is just kind of holding his own here. Everyone's kind of single file here, a little bit further back here. But they're all kind of bumbled up here. It's not like we saw it to stage 1 where the top Gaiman was able to kind of pull away and the rest were able to join. Speaking of Gaiman, there he is right there. Already got his way back up to 11th after that EOL penalty. He's carving his way up for this field here. Knows he's got a mad fast 61 and wants to get as high as he can before stage 2 ends on 70. Oh, Withers in the grass there. He'll save it. Came in a bit of a fright along with the car behind there, Kevin Feemster. And they're going to split Feemster here. You can just see right there. They're getting racy. Gaiman now going to try to get Withers too. And he will successfully get it done. So now Gaiman up to 9th already. In a span of just a handful of laps, he's gotten that machine from the tail end of the longest line, 18th, to about now P9. Oh, Feemster touches Gaiman. Feemster sideways. Feemster saves it, but no, someone else is sideways. Wanzing's too sideways. 2 sideways incidents there. Wanzing was half sideways. Same thing with Feemster. Feemster both save it. We stayed clean, we stayed green, but Wanzing going hard there for the spot.
That was a wild sequence of events there. Absolutely wild.
Mm-hmm.
Up near the front. Reynolds on a threat from Wanzing once again.
Now, just a minute ago, Reynolds was kind of fighting for position P3 there. He's drifted a little bit back. Obviously, him and Wanzing still fighting hard here.
Wanzing got the advantage on that lap across our finish line. However, the inside lane's, I think, the place to be in turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, we've seen that outside line kind of work, but the inside line get kind of work, but the outside line's been kind of the runoff lane, if you will. So the lane that once you kind of go side by side, it's the lane that kind of gets you that run, the hang on to the corner, as long as you can keep it planned. And we saw Michelle work that quite well in his battle with Proudfoot in stage 1, and then he was able to hang on for a long time in stage 2 until eventually it obviously came enough that Proudfoot was able to get around.
Reynolds beginning to work on Michelle there. Stage ending in 6 laps. Reynolds would like some extra stage points, especially with Proudfoot taking right now the stage win as things currently sit. Reynolds would love to chase him down.
Yeah. And like I said, Proudfoot trying to be the spoiler, if you will, trying to be the guy that basically comes in and makes it so it's a little bit harder for everyone else. Taking 10 points away from Michelle or Reynolds, who could use those 10 points, 9 or 8. You never know when you need those 1 or 2 points. And Reynolds kind of seen that now, wants to get the second, especially when it comes to the pit lane, because we saw that 70 coming in second could give you a better chance of getting first than coming in third. Gaiman's back up to P7 right now on the back of Sears here. He's actually going to make a move on Sears just in the background there. So Gaiman recovered well after that little self-blunder. And he'll be up to 6th. Going to be a bit of a tall ask to get to the top 5. Next car is obviously Patrick Oberstedt's having a great run here. Driver that made it by the skin of his teeth last week. Now actually attacking Wanzing for 4th. They're side by side.
Oberstedt with a really strong showing so far.
Again, we know at the end of the broadcast of Bristol, we thought he was out and Leiter got in. But at the end of the day, when the points recalculated and retallied with official metrics, Oberstedt made it in, now taking advantage of a second opportunity here. Some people may have wrote him off thinking that Talladega, obviously his only win came at Talladega, but he's showing a great showing here at Texas, proving why he could be a bit of a dark horse here, at the very least to make the round of 8. And he's not giving up here. Ooh, Wanzing had a little blank there. Oberstedt's there, Gaiman though, ready to kind of spoil the party between these two battles. He wants back in the top 5. Pit lane has closed. Still like Gaiman just going to try to find wherever he can. Like last lap in the stage, just taken by Proudfoot. When Proudfoot crosses the line, that will be the end of stage 2. Wanzing holding station. Gaiman going to try to go the long way around. Now Gaiman go for the switch back here. As Proudfoot's going to come off the last corner, he's about to cross the line. Now that will end the stage. Gaiman cannot get there, so it's going to be Proudfoot, Michelle, Reynolds, Wanzing, Stefan Oberstedt, Gaiman, Feather Place, Wright, Sears, Patrick Oberstedt. That will be your top 10 here going into stage number, well, at the end of stage number 2 here, going into the final stage of the night. Ooh, Wanting missed his box there. That's going to cost him some time there. Pit lane comes off here. See already that effect of the incident there. Proudfoot going to come off in first position, and it's going to be Michelle, Reynolds, Gaiman, Stefan Oberstadt, Wright, Feather Place, Sears, Patrick Oberstadt, and Wanzing. We still see a few drivers stuck in pit lane for playoff, noticing Roberts and Feemster right now. I know Roberts got some damage. It looks like he's electing to fix more of that, and he is away. Feemster still on the clock. Will drive away too. So both going to lose a lot of time here as well.
All right, so while we're looking at this, we'll pull up the stage points. As things currently are, we'll see, make sure that they're updated here. There we go.
Yeah.
Dan Michelle taking over the points lead once again. Wanzing stays second. Then it's Gaiman, Roberts, Reynolds, Oberstadt, Sears.
David Wright.
Yeah, David Wright in Feather Place, all are scoring stage points at some point, leaving just Feemster, Kruger, and Pinnell without stage points so far in this race.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now it's time for all the big points to be put on offer.
Yeah, this is where it's going to matter the most here. Obviously, with Ryan Pinnell being multiple down, his only chance to really get a spot at the moment is with Tommy Withers. But for the rest of the field, they're all on the lead lap. So they can easily gain or lose spots in one instant here. You have to take behind the wall, or you have a bad mistake, like we saw with Seth Wanzi. Now, he had a top 5 car. Right now, he's back to 10th. Or we saw before stage 2 ended, like that last restart before stage 2 ended with Gaiman's mistake, he had to claw his way up. So you do not, this is crucial time now, and you do not want to make a mistake here in clutch time. So choose a cone in effect here. Looks like no one will have any violations on that. It's going to be Proudfoot taking the inside, Michelle on the outside. Reynolds, Gaiman first 2 rows with Stefan Oberstadt, Feather Place, Wright, Wanzing, I believe, and then it's going to be, actually, this is still getting kind of grouped up here. Yeah, it's going to be Wright, Wanzing, and it's going to be Sears and Kruger. That'll be your first 5 rows. All right, so this is the money. This is the money stage. See what happens. Green flag is out. There we go. Ooh, looks like Reynolds say sorry for something. Trying to figure out exactly what. Looks like he'll be okay though. Reynolds though getting very racy here a little bit further back. There's Wanzing, and it looks like Stefan Oberstadt there fighting. Wanzing will get clear. Oberstadt will fall down to 7th. Sears will be in 8th. We're here with Stephen Oberstadt here. In the middle of a, right ahead of Tom Sears here is watching the battle for 7th here. Ray John. They are getting a little bit racy up front here. As I was just about to point out, Michelle almost followed Reynolds into the wall there. He got cut late. Gaiman's also, remember, he was leading most of this race. He has now joined this pack, if you will. And there's 5th place and 5th. We saw he had a weak stage 1. He's recovered quite nicely, and now he's joined the top 5 battle here. As this top six cars are all in a bit of a pack here. Just waiting for one to blink or one to make a mistake. Looks like Michelle gonna have a chance here on a run. Still side by side. Could open the door for Gaiman to pick a lane here. Wanzing there in the distance, trying to make a move. Feather Place is holding down 5th for the moment. Wanzing looks like he wants to kind of join the top 5. We know that 61's fast, but the problem is he's got really nowhere to take it. A little puff of smoke there. A bit of latency. As you all see that battle there with Wanzing and Feather Place. Looks like Wanzing will successfully take the spot from Feather Place to put Wanzing up the 5th, Feather Place down to 6th. And now Reynolds looks like he wants the lead here. Has a long drought here. Wants to maybe get a win here so he doesn't have to worry about the next 2 rounds. We know he's good at road courses, so he should be a threat at the Roval, but Dega being a crapshoot, he'd want to avoid the headache for the next 2 weeks. Actually, everyone in this top 4 are fairly strong at road courses. Obviously, Profit's not the playoffs, but the other 3 could definitely be a threat to win the Roval as well. So, but obviously, if you can win now, you don't have to worry about the next 2 rounds. So does not get the run he needs there. We'll have to stay in 2nd. Further back as we still watch the battle here, just keep an eye on the timing and scoring here. Marshall's looking to get around his boss, Tom Sears, here. They're side by side. Remember, Marshall was fighting some damage those first laps, some pit multiple times, high pairs. Looks like he's either got fixed up quite nicely or most likely he burned a faster pair here and has gotten that car back inside the top 10. I got another driver that's trying to play spoiler. Not fighting for playoff contentions, but looking just for good finishes. Oh, back up to the 2nd. They're all 2 by 2 here for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. You can see right there, Wanzing pushes Gaiman just a little bit. Gives him a little tap there. Gaiman hits the wall. Reynolds got passed by Michelle. Now Reynolds going to be on the high line here.
Wild battle developing here. All behind Proudfoot.
Oh, Reynolds gets loose. Reynolds can't save it. Gaiman checks it down. Reynolds through the grass. No caution, 1 car. Reynolds not going to be too thrilled with that. Obviously, being a single car incident, thinks there should be a caution. No caution will be called. That's going to give a bit of a breathing room here. Michelle's going to be 2nd. Now Wanzing got a bit of a hornet's nest behind him with Gaiman, Feather Place, and Oberstadt all in his mirror.
Wow. That was a turn of events. That was wild.
Yeah. It was. You can see how they were racing. Eventually, something was going to have to give. And eventually it did. Just like I was talking about, moments kind of being important here. Reynolds now down to 18th. He's going to need a caution to get back in. As right now, he's currently behind Ryan Pinnell, who's multiple down. Next car on the racing service he would be fighting would be Elfridge George, who's 3 up the road along with Emma Kruger. And then he's 10 back to the leader, so he's going to need a caution to get back in this. And right now, going to hemorrhage a lot of points there, though. For third, Gaiman. Ones, and Gaiman's led a majority of this race. He's looking to get back into that top 3 spots and charge the front. Wanzing not going to really be letting him do that. It's going to be a bit of a forward if he can. Gaiman's still there on the corner panel, keeping him honest, keeping Wanzing honest. Getting that high groove allows you to get the run you need, so you got to take the low, be aggressive, try to push the car on the outside a little bit offline. And we'll have a chance here, and now Wanzing going to go low, cut off Gaiman's line.
Saw Wanzing got loose there in that process as well. 3 cars, nose to tail.
Mm-hmm. Third place has to be respectful. He doesn't want to bump either car sideways, but at the same point, he wants to get around here. Did not get many stage points, so he's looking to get a good finish here to try to negate that. Gonna go back high side here. He's looking for some clean air.
Wild. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm. It should be worked out. Michelle's also reeled down Proudfoot. You can just see there in the foreground. So we got basically 2 battles here about to form. One we're already watching, one that could form in a second. And you can just see driving on the edge. It's just that high line. You don't get enough torque to clear. Oh, Featherplace tried to put it in there. It didn't work.
Oh.
Gaiman in the wall. Gaiman sideways. Hits his teammate, B-Tron. And that's going to be a caution. They're coming up the surface. They'll keep it low. But, oh, you could see, again, it was leading to that. It was teetering. And eventually the dam broke. And we'll have a caution for it.
Wow. And that changes a lot strategy-wise.
Yeah. For starters, that allows Reynolds to get caught back up here. So 2 B-Tron machines having an incident allows another one to get caught up. But other than that, we'll take a look here. And you can just see. We'll take it just a little bit back here. Still side by side.
Look at this, because Gaiman starts battling loose here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see this car begin to fishtail. Begins to step out there.
Mm-hmm.
Slides up. Still loose, but he saves it, it looks like.
And then Featherplay starts coming in here. Mm-hmm.
Gaiman's already loose there before Featherplace even gets to him. And Featherplace didn't even touch him.
Yeah, you're correct. Look at the second angle. Yeah, Featherplace had nothing to do with that. And then he has it saved again, hits the wall, and then it kicks the other direction. At that point, Featherplace just barely avoids getting clobbered, but Stefan Oberstadt not so lucky, even though it does not look as bad a damage there, at the very least. So we're going to cut back to live action. Pit stops in effect. Should be the last pit stop of the night. Obviously, if you get another caution, though, we may see some cars roll the dice to come back in if they got a set. But everyone should be good to go to the end here. Looks like Patrick Oberstadt's going to take a chance here. 6-second pit stop for him. And Michelle is going to beat out Proudfoot. So Patrick Oberstadt rolls the dice with a 6-second stop. Looks like he just took you only. Then you got everyone else taking 4 tires. Michelle, Proudfoot, Featherplace, Wanzing, Marshall, top 6. Oh, and you feel for Stefan Oberstadt right now because he's having a great run. And now he's on pit lane, not burning a fast repair, collecting the fix of damage. And he's gonna have to come from the back to the front here, which again drivers have done. So he should, as long as that car's not too heavily damaged, he should be able to do it. But yeah, you feel for him a little bit there, just an innocent bystander. So we're going to see choose next time. Emma Kruger electing to come in again here. So Emma Kruger electing to top off here, or electing to start in the back. Bit of an odd choice, as again, it should be enough fuel for everyone to get to the end, in theory, as 35 laps was the stage in question from the first opening lap to the first stage. Everyone made it clearly, and actually, no, that would be 45. My mistake. It's 5, 15, 25. Yeah, it's 45 laps. So maybe a little bit more concern here. So maybe a little bit more smoke to that fire, if you will. Emma Kruger coming in the top off, try an alternate strategy here. So a bit of a math blunder by myself, but yeah, this is going to be a bit of a hornet's nest kick in the strategy book. So choose is going to be this time by. So now Patrick Oberstadt's going to kind of choose his lane here. Remember, on old tires, to not get fresh tires like the rest of the field elected to do. There's Alpha George coming on in. Get off strategy here. So the question is where he will go. And he will go low. And Michelle will go high. Proudfoot will go low. Featherplace will go high. So we'll let this all cycle through, and we'll give you a update of where everyone is. So it's going to be Oberstadt, Michelle, Proudfoot, Featherplace, Marshall, Wanzing, Sears, Wright, Gaiman, Roberts, your top 10. We have 18 cars on the lead lap, 19 cars still running, with Ryan Pinnell the only car on the 12th car, the only car currently multiple laps down. Only one on a lap down and also multiple laps down is the 12. Tommy Withers, only car behind the wall. Still technically in the session, but with a damaged clock around 23 minutes and counting, it's unlikely we'll see him coming back. Pace car going to come on in. What will the future hold here? Green flag is out, and away we go. And already there, a bit of a kicked hornet's nest right there as Patrick Oberstadt held up Michelle there. Michelle couldn't get the run off the corner. Now Brady Proudfoot's going to go for the lead. And he's going to clear Patrick Oberstadt. So Michelle looked like he could have been the catbird seat. Did not get the restart he needed. Proudfoot got going. And we'll get it there. Now you can see that 41's going to stink like a stone. Old tires is definitely going to play a factor here. Even though Michelle won the race off pit load, Proudfoot going to take the lead. And now Featherplay is going to have a chance here. Regular season points winner, but only got one win to his name at Gateway. Looking to try to start this next round of the playoffs off right here by getting a win. He'll be currently slotted in third. And there you can see Wanzing getting around Patrick Oberstadt as well. And Gaiman as well. So Oberstadt down to 7th, but right now, 1-2 single file for the most part for the first 7 spots between Proudfoot and Wright. These are all in this little gaggle of cars here. Two other drivers have joined the fray. You can just see in the background there about the fight. It looks like it's Oberstadt and Reynolds. Well, Patrick Oberstadt obviously sinking, but Reynolds looking to join the tail end of this little train here. We know that 7's fast. Try to take this new lease on life with 34 to go to try to get to the front. And right there, Featherplace gonna have a charge here. And yeah, you can see Featherplace gets around there. Now he's going to try to go for range. Sears going to try to make it a 2-for-1 special with line power machinery. Side by side there, going to go up the surface a little bit there. Sears cannot get the job done, still side by side. Michelle will clear, going into 1. There's Gaiman trying to get around Sears there on the high side. He will successfully do it. So Gaiman will be up to 4th. Sears will fall down to 5th. Again, 2nd to 9th are all playoff drivers. The only one that's the outlier, Brandon Proudfoot right now, currently our leader, is trying to play spoiler. Everyone else, a win would lock him into the next round. Well, excluding Austin Mongol in the top 10, but you get what I mean by that. Featherplace, though, middle groove, can't get the run. Gaiman, though, gonna try to make a move on Michelle. We know Gaiman's got a fast 61. He led him a good chunk of this race. I think he has most laps led, or at least close to it. I think maybe Proudfoot could have passed him at this point. Is he still side by side there? Looks like he'll be able to not get cleared yet, but he should get the run he needs here to get clear, and he'll come down to cut off that 25. So Gaiman up to 3rd. There's Reynolds and Wanzing fighting. We'll ride on board with the number 7. Again, long dry spell here for that 7. Dominant most of the season, was 2nd in the regular season points, but hasn't won since 7-2. 2 months. Could be 3 in 2 at the end of the round of 12. It will be 3 if he can't get a win. Right now they're buried in traffic. Gonna have to try to find a way to get around.
Luckily right now he's got a little bit of space. David Wright's still about 8/10 away, so he's got the ability to just kind of sit and pick his moves here. He doesn't want to get too caught up early.
Battle for the front here. Proudfoot gonna get possible pass by Featherplace. Featherplace was side by side the line, but it looks like the run's gonna run out. You can just see in the foreground there.
Yeah.
Just kind of cut to that, saw that, but it looks like Proudfoot hold charge. But yeah, the finish, yeah, the kind of finish point there. Reynolds doesn't have any pressure from behind, as Wright is about a second back along with Roberts.
Oh, he just clipped the white line, though. You can't do that. Sometimes when you're sitting back, that's the most dangerous thing, is you're trying to cut off and you're trying to really kind of save, but you start thinking about it. You start distracting yourself, like overthinking about it. So you really have to kind of make sure you're still hitting your marks. That's so critical right now, and you see how much time that's already cost him.
Yeah.
He was right there on the bumper of Wanzing, and now he's dropped back. See if he can get anything to happen here. A lot tighter this time through as we're on board with him. But everyone pushing with less than 30 to go.
Yep. It's go time. Gloves are off. With how raced they are up front, though, maybe a little bit of distance isn't a bad thing. They get a little bit loose, get a little bit wrecky. You do not want to be in a situation where you can be clipped up by it. Oh, look how low. That's Michelle there. He is forcing it on Featherplace. He had wanted to get around there, and he will successfully do it. He went almost to the white line there. That looked like a champ car move. And he'll hold it, so he'll get the spot, as you see there. Featherplace is going to fall down the 4th. But you can see those 2 specs in like a little bit ahead of this little pack. You see that little gaggle, and you see those 2 cars about to come off the corner right there. That is a race leader and Joshua Gaiman. They're 1-2, and Gaiman's getting runs here. He wants that lead back. Right now, still stuck in traffic, and Reynolds is caught back up to Wanzing here. Hopefully he doesn't clip the white line again.
$25 laps to go. Josh Gaiman's now chasing down Brandon Proudfoot in this battle for the race lead.
Gaiman's been showing the speed here. They've run identical times past couple laps. Personal best of the race, though, favors Proudfoot actually by a couple tenths. They both have fast cars. Question is, who's got the faster one? And Michelle's actually rejoined the fray here. They've kind of gapped the rest of the pack here. So it's breaking into 2 packs here. Yeah, for how if they keep getting held up, or if they get in a situation where they'll get re-gaggled. Right now, the moment, it's Proudfoot, Game, Michelle in this first little bubble, and then it's Feather Place, Wanzing, Sears, Reynolds in the second one. And then the third pack of Roberts and Wright looking to join the second one.
Game is trying to get runs here, but Proudfoot's cutting him off.
Proudfoot's doing what he needs to do. Can be a bit of a pain to pass with this track. It's kind of a groove, like a 1 groove track to 1.5 groove track. You can get runs, but you have to set them down the straight and then get it on the inside and kind of be forceful. If we see an open door, if Proudfoot makes a mistake, if Gaiman gets run off, you know he's going to be forceful trying to get it through. He's not going to be courteous. He's not going to be gentle. He's going to get it in there. He's going to ride up the surface enough to kind of get that 22 desettled and then try to set foot down the tri-oval to set himself up for the next corner.
I'm not sure, because these two are teammates in the HL Cup Series. I'm less worried about these two making contact. I'm more worried about Michelle making his way through, because Michelle has drawn contact several times this season.
Yes.
I'm more concerned about the 25 car trying to make things happen and trying to force the issue.
Again, the playoffs fees desperation, because right now, we don't obviously know under a chase system, but under a chase system, we know we could at least assume that Michelle would be looking good at the moment with 2 strong finishes at the opening rounds and obviously a little bit of a mistake at Gaines, but led a good chunk of laps there. But he'd be quite good under a chase system. But under a main system right now, though, with the playoffs where only 3, you get your best results out of 3 rounds, kind of you can see the desperation is we don't know. We know he's good at road courses. We know he's good at Dega, but if he gets in trouble in both those races, he could be in a bit of a bad spot. Same thing with Gaiman. We saw him have poor runs at road courses where he's had incidences on the first couple laps. You don't want to see that happen again and then be in a spot where you're in a must-win at the Roval, even if you have the speed. See, the rest of the field navigates around the lap-down car of Ryan Pinnell. One should successfully make it through here for the most part. Sears looks like he'll get held up just a tiny bit, but should get clear here shortly.
Right now, top 3 staying close. Oh, I thought Michelle's going to force the issue, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
That is exactly what he did. He knew he had to because he was tired of the complacency of Josh Gaiman.
Yeah, I've
and Gaiman's not going to be very appreciative of that either.
No, but you can understand Michelle, because Michelle knows you can't win it from third. You have to make a move, and if you know the top 2 cars are going to kind of sit there and hold and wait until like 5 to go and then start racing, you got to press the issue. Gaiman at the same time is going to be like, all right, you want to do that? Bet, game on, and you can see they're side by side. Now Wanzing's joined the fray. So 2 Sunday Monday Racing machines have in this battle 4 here, and in turn that's also allowed Feather Place and Reynolds to catch up. And that also brings Robertson right, so the whole squad's coming. But right now, Gaiman, again, goes in deep, gonna try to push him up a little bit.
It's giving Michelle the advantage, though, because he's at the outside lane, he's gonna clear.
Yep. And now Wanzing just there, but yeah, Michelle gonna get clear. Worked out in the end for Michelle, saw the opportunity, got the run, got it done. And now he's gonna set his sights on Proudfoot, but if he makes a mistake, you know Gaiman's gonna do the same thing he just did. Look at that, Michelle goes just a tiny. He's just getting his quick on the throttles. He dares.
Here comes Wanzing.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle's sending in deep. Wanzing right there as well.
Yep.
So Wanzing back in the emergence here, and I think he may have saved up his stuff a little bit better.
Yep. Right now, though, Michelle going to get back in front.
Gaiman spent way too much time trying to sit behind Proudfoot, and it's going to cost him.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle gets clear once more.
Oh, look at how many cars have joined this fray there in the distance. Obviously not for the lead, but they're joining this pack here. Gaiman going to get back in front of Wanzing, and now going to try to send it on the 25.
Michelle left the door open for him, and that was why. Because Wanzing applying pressure to Gaiman. Gaiman drove it in loose.
You know who's enjoying seeing this right now? Proudfoot. He's looking in his mirror. He's seeing the race.
He's not getting away, though. That's the big problem.
Yeah, he's not getting the distance, but at the very least, they're side by side. They can't pass you, at the very least.
But here's the thing: like if they cause a caution racing this close quarters,
yeah, then that's
like
gonna
this could potentially be with better place making contact with Michelle. That ruins everything, and it still could.
He keeps it off the wall, though. And they're hard for second, by the way. Oh, baby.
That's what the concern becomes. Is if they wreck each other, then it puts everything under the roof, under the ceiling here, and that's what
loose there.
I believe.
That was Marshall. No, Marshall's not running that scheme.
I don't know. It looked like Sears. It was Sears.
No, it was before Sears. It was the car before Sears. That red and black one. Yeah, maybe it was Sears. Yeah, I think it was Sears.
It was Sears because Sears was in this group and he's not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of black shaded cars, but that one was Sears because Sears is the one that darted down below the white line.
Yeah. God, hate to be a spotter.
Here we go. Gaiman got loose. Give Wanting space. 3 wide behind. Oh dear.
Yeah, they're not racing like their teammates.
Wanzing trying to charge forward. 11 to go at the line. Oh dear.
Oh dear. I mean, it'd be a fun poll to see if they can make it back in 11 laps. I feel confident they can. Right, though, guy we haven't said much about all night.
Tire saving to the max.
Yeah. He did that at Richmond, and he's looking to try to do it here, too.
David Wright emerged as a premier, tire saver. He's a tire whisperer.
If this stays green, he could be a threat.
Absolutely. If it doesn't stay green, if it goes caution, he could be a big threat. 10 to go.
It's Proudfoot, Wanzing, Gaiman, Wright, Roberts, Featherplace, Marshall, Reynolds, Sears, Mongold, your top 10.
Yeah.
Top 6 you're watching currently in this little gaggle of cars, and Stefan Overstat, who's on the tail end of it. So 7, but 6 fighting for position.
9 laps to go as lap stick away. Wanzing using every bit of real estate here.
And looking at this top 4 here, I'm just kind of thinking about the future here. Talladega, a wild card race. Yeah. But we know with some of these cars in this top 10 here, we know.
A little bit of sideways there by Gaiman, who's trying to block David Wright.
Oh, that's not going to get any friends there with that block. It's legal,
but it's not. Brandon Roberts hard into the wall. And the caution comes out. Michelle's in it. Sears is in it.
Yep, Michelle T-bones it. Well, Court hits the engine pallet. Sears.
Wow, and that's going to change everything.
I'm assuming everyone's coming in. If you got a fresh set of tires, you're taking it, I'd assume. But does anyone take 2 if they come in? Who stays out?
That's the big question.
So take a look at what happens here. You can see the block kind of starts it. Then Roberts gets the run on right.
Does he get below the white line, though, to cause his car to get loose? I think he may.
I think so, too.
Oh, yeah, he does. He clips the white line with those left side tires. Trying to fit it underneath David Wright.
Gets loose and then overcorrects the other direction. And then that point, he's just a passenger.
And that is a very painful impact there. And there's nowhere for Reynolds to go. There's nowhere for Tom Sears to go. Reynolds gets lucky there, but Michelle and Sears know where they can go. During commit to the bottom and going up at the top, shooting to the top at that point is just essentially committing the same thing that Roberts did there. So you just kind of got to go with it and hope that it works out.
So back to live action. Proudfoot did not pit. Everyone else did.
That is suicide.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of shocked. That's why I said, when we watched the replay, Proudfoot was the only one to stay out. Everyone looks like they took 4 tires on their stop. Looks like Feemster elected to take 2, and he'll come out 5th.
Yeah.
But other than that, everyone else taking 4. So we saw what happened with Patrick Oberstadt. We saw in that regard where he got swallowed quickly.
Yeah.
So in this regard, I don't like that strategy. But it looks
I
like
don't either.
Honestly, just heard on the radio, Proudfoot said he spaced out. So I think he just
Oh,
didn't
no.
think.
Oh, no.
He
now
had
he's
a
going to stick
blunder.
with it, though.
He has to. Like, you can't pit now. Like, you'll be behind everything. You'll be going to 15. So now he had a Gaiman moment. He just said on radio. So when Gaiman had that choose go violation. So yeah, this is an interesting strategy for the 22.
Yeah, that's not great.
You can see Marshall and Pannell coming in. They're laps down, so they're just gonna come in. So now, the question is, do you line up behind or do you line up beside? Because we saw the last time this happened with Patrick Oberstadt, Michelle elected to line up side by side with him, and Brandon Proudfoot elected to go behind the 41. The 41 got the launch he needed, and in turn, when he came up, it cut off Michelle coming out of 2, and it allowed Proudfoot to get around and take the lead. And with this being kind of a hard track to pass at, picking the line correctly here can be the difference between winning or losing. So if you're the 61, you have a tough choice to make, because whatever you do, Wanzing's doing the opposite. Honestly, looking at what we saw earlier, I think I'd rather be behind the 22 than side by side the 22, unless you think you can time it.
It's a very difficult game to play. I don't know, because I feel like Gaiman. I don't know if Gaiman's gonna. I feel like Gaiman would take the outside lane. I'm not sure. It's hard to read here.
He does, but it's if Proudfoot's gone low for the good chunk of those restarts, but he hasn't led much of these on restarts. When he has, I think he's gone high. So, this is going to be interesting. We're about to find out our answer now. We know Proudfoot's on old tires. A bit of a blunder, I think he would say so himself, but maybe he could somehow make this work. Maybe he can turn back the clock on those tires. So choose is going to be in effect here.
4 laps.
He's going low. Gaiman's going to go high.
I mean, Proudfoot's doing the smart thing. He's got to at this point.
Wanzing will follow suit on the high side.
That's bold. David Wright went low.
And then Feimster is on 2 tires, will go high. And then it's going to be Feather Place. Then it's Reynolds. Then it's Mongold. Then it's Ray.
I like that 2-tire call. I like that 2-tire call from Feimster, trying to get some points here. I like that call with 4 laps to go in this restart. That's not a bad call.
You're not going to sink that much in 4 to go.
Well, you may as well swing for the fences because he was on the fringe of the top 10, if not out of it, beforehand.
Yeah. And remember, he didn't get any stage points.
No, he has gotten none.
So he needs these points.
Badly.
Especially when the only other cars that did not get stage points were Ryan Pannell, who's currently outside of it, and Emma Kruger, who is currently 12th. And at least she's got a Roval in her pocket. This is going to be interesting.
Brandon Proudfoot and Josh Gaiman will lead us to green.
Again, hindsight shows from the previous incident with Patrick Oberstadt, Wright's in the catbird seat, but Gaiman's been the fastest car all night. And Wanzing's been fast too, so
yeah,
maybe Proudfoot can hang on. We'll find out here. 4 to go when they come to the line. Pace car going to come off.
Coming to 4 laps to go. This is going to be a shootout in Texas. Is this the final restart? We're going to find out through the zone. Green flag in the air, and away we go. 4 to go, and Gaiman got a really good launch. No one else did.
That may have been the thing, that one game in this race. Yeah, he's got no pressure from behind here. It's him and Proudfoot still side by side. The tires should play advantage here.
Donald Ray.
That was Donald Ray, and Gaiman will clear.
Do we make it back? 3 to go.
Right.
Oh, cars in the wall!
Right.
David Wright, Tommy Reynolds! Is that going to be another yellow?
It should be. That was 2 cars.
And there it is.
Yeah, that should be. Yeah, because look at that 7. Oh, he's coming back up. Almost hits whoever the Sears. That should have been a caution. Yeah. So now Proudfoot's 2nd. Honestly, I feel like he should cut his losses and come and get tires. After that, though, this is going to be interesting because now Wright, who's looking good, is now got to get that fixed. Reynolds is now going to have to pit as well to fix it up. Ooh.
That was ugly. Well, look at what happened here in this incident. This is between David Wright and Tommy Reynolds. This was just for the 5th position.
Honestly,
And this happens quickly.
Yeah, we'll let the replay play, but I feel like Wright... Well, we'll see. I'll hold my thought until we see it. Yeah. Wright was coming up just a bit there. Reynolds was there. And they're running
David Wright never got it hooked up on the inside. He never got it to hook up. It was just always plowing tight. You could see that he missed the inside lane.
Yep. And it's
like you see right here, like he's already well off the inside lane there by a good car length. And with Reynolds there on the outside lane, David Wright's just, again, you're not lifting at this point, just hoping that you can get clear. But the washout on those cold tires just completely killed it.
Yep.
Several cars going through the grass there. Kruger was one of them, but Reynolds and David Wright, the only two really seriously involved. Tom Sears almost got a piece of it, but got away pretty well clean. Yeah, David Wright definitely pushed up there in Tommy Reynolds, and now both of them will be at the back of the field. And there's Proudfoot as well, and Brent Roberts, whose race is effectively over.
Yep. So Proudfoot comes in for tires, so he'll give every spot up he had. So we'll see where the choose comes back. But now, the launch, first of all, we'll have a green white checker here. We're in green white checker territory. You get just for the viewers at home, if they're new here, they've been spotty. It should be worth noting there's 3 green white checker attempts you get. So we'll see a max of 3 attempts. This will be the first one we're coming to right now. It's Gaiman, Wanzing, Feemster, Featherplace, Mongold, Michelle, Kerr, Kruger, Overstat, Ray right now at the moment. Again, looks like right now Feemster is going to possibly make bank on that 2-tire strategy at the moment, but obviously things can still change. Another driver worth noting in this top 5, Austin Mongold. No, he's not a playoff driver. He's had a good run so far in that 4. Outside the top 10 most day, now inside the top 5. We'll see if he can hold it. We will have choose next time by here. So not this one we're currently watching. It's going to be the next one. We'll see the choose in effect. Right now, we don't have, obviously we'll get the points updated when it ends, but right now Roberts is thanking his lucky stars. He had that 5-point advantage winning Darlington and also racking up a lot of stage points because 18th's not going to look good on the docket. At the moment, we have 16 cars still running and on the lead lap. 4 cars currently in the pit lane. Most have high damage clocks, excluding Ryan Pinnell, who may come back out here, but with him being multiple down, he will probably not gain another spot. So 16 cars still fighting for this victory on lead lap. Now the question is, where goes who to choose? Gaiman's been going high most of his race. I think it's a foregone conclusion he goes high. The next question is, what does Wanzing do? We've seen the low line doesn't really get the launch you need unless you can time it right. If you can time it right, you can make it work, but you have to time it right. If Wanzing doesn't think he can get the run, he needs to possibly stay high so he gets the best chance to keep second. Then Feemster. Feemster, I think, will roll the dice and go low here. Unless Wanzing goes low, then he'll go high. So this will be interesting to see how it all plays out here. But Gaiman's choice is probably pretty solid here. We're going to see him go high in that number 61 machine. And he will actually go low. He proves me wrong. He bucks the trends and will go low. Wanzing will go high. Feemster will follow suit. Featherplace will go low. So as they get cycled up here, it's going to be Gaiman Wanzing the first row. It's going to be Feemster Featherplace row 2. Austin Mongold and Austin Mongold and Dan Michelle row 3. James Kerr and Emma Kruger row 4. And Patrick Oberstadt and Donald Ray in the first 5 rows here. David Wright gets a choose cone violation.
Just add insult to injury there.
Yeah. Looks like he's thinking the 22 also had a violation, but 22 does not get charged for anything. So now, here we go. First green-white checkered attempt. In the top 10, you got 6 out of the top 10 spots are playoff drivers, and you got 4 non. We'll see what happens here. Pace car is pulling in. Green is out, and away we go. Wansing tried the time, but got some wheel spin. Featherplace is going to be on the inside. And he will actually get second. Mongold to Feebster. Mongold going up the racetrack a little bit. They'll keep it clean, but they're 3 wide. Oh, a couple cars. That's Alfred's George. I think it was Proudfoot.
And there's another caution.
And that will be the first caution. So we'll re-rack them. We will re-rack them. And we'll do this again. So now Gaiman's going to have to do what he did again. Featherplace now will have second place billing. We'll take a look at the restart here. You can just see already Awesome Mongol side by side with Feemster, but that's not going to be the trigger of this. Get a little further back. Alfred George goes up just a tad.
Just gets loose.
And Proudfoot happened to be there. Oh!
That's a hard side impact there. I mean, it's flush, but it's a violent impact there with Proudfoot.
He basically used that 22 as a safer barrier there. You can just see the
teammates there.
The smoke.
Presidential Racing not having a fun time tonight. Alrighty. This will be interesting. Where does Featherplace go? Where does Wansing go? Does Featherplace choose the outside lane, or does he stay in the inside lane with Gaiman?
Yeah, we're gonna find out next time. This is
where you have to think big brain. You have to really kind of throw something out of the hat. If I'm Featherplace, line up on the inside again.
Yeah.
Line up on the inside again. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You're gonna either force Wansing to go through the exact same thing he just did, or you're gonna leave it to Feemster, who's got a wounded car.
I don't know if it's wounded. It's definitely got 2 tires, though. So
it's got 2 tires, but he didn't use his fast repair from earlier when he tried the walls. So it's wounded.
So it is wounded. Got it.
That's the big critical question mark there, because if Wansing stays inside as well, it puts Feemster on the outside, then Austin Mongold, who we know can't hold a straight line, and then Daniel Michel.
Yeah.
And Michel, I think, may have just used his fast repair, so he may be okay, but that's not a good outside lane to be in if that is the worst case scenario. Because then Michel's pinned. He's boxed in.
Yeah.
So that's a very hard situation here. I don't know. I don't know what you do, because Wansing knows he just got beat. Featherplace knows that he just beat Wansing on the inside lane. Why would he move to the outside lane? You can't step toe-to-toe with Gaiman on these restarts right now. You can't. No. And it'd be done to put yourself in a position, especially with all these playoff drivers in this mix, because Feemster's in this mix that can still play a big spoiler here. I believe it's got 1 lap to go.
Yes. Looks like got to send it one more time, so we'll have...
Yeah, so we still got 1 lap. So you look at all the stuff going on here. Featherplace is giving me the energy that he's going to go to the outside. And I don't like that call.
Yeah, I don't like it either, because we saw what happened once. He bogged it down.
If he can get it right, and he can stay alongside Gaiman into turns 1 and 2, he's got a shot. But it's so hard to do.
Yeah, we've seen this throughout all the weeks we've watched all this iRacing. It's very rarely someone will time it right and be able to stay side by side, cross the line. The car that has the pole position and the car that has the first choice always gets the launch, and enough of a launch that they are all right and they're able to clear. Very rarely, I think I can think of maybe 2 to 3 incidences where a car was able to make it work and charge the run and get it to work. So the answer of it happening is slim to none. So why not go low and try a risk? But Feather Place, this is where his moment's going to come here. What does he think? What is it if he's talking with Sears, Kruger, Marshall right now in the chats? What are they telling him? What does he think is the best opportunity for him right now?
We're going to find out here. Coming to the choose.
Mm-hmm.
Does Gaiman go inside or outside? He's going to stay outside.
Feather Place going low.
Feather Place got to go low. He's got to at that point. You've got to go low.
Wanzing and then
went
Fincher.
high.
Then it's going to be
This
Mongold.
is interesting.
Mongold and Kerr, Michelle,
And
then
Kruger.
And then it's going to be Sears and Patrick Oberstadt, your first 5 rows. 16 cars still running on the lead lap. This is going to be a treat to watch.
This will be something special, that is for sure. Gaiman chose the outside lane. That is a very interesting call. He can make it work because he is controlling the restart, but that gives Feather Place a very good chance to try to make something happen. That's so hard.
Yeah.
That the only benefit to this, and I think this is mostly Gaiman reacting to Wanzing. No matter what happens, Wanzing's not going to get clear to chase him down. And I think that's what he's doing. If he gets a good enough restart, Feather Place will battle Wanzing, and he's just going to walk away. The issue is that we still got one overtime finish in the bank that we can use. Oh, here we go. Pace car is going to pull in. It's Gaiman, Feather Place, Feemster, Wanzing, top 4. Second overtime attempt, and that's the restart he wanted.
Got what he needed.
Feather Place also got a decent restart over Wanzing. Stayed single file there.
Wanzing spun the tires. I saw Mongold had to give him a shove to get him going. Right now, Gaiman's got the smooth sailing he needs. Feather Place a little further back than he was before the first caution came. Everyone else looks okay. A little bit of an urgy-burgy moment right in front of Emma Kruger. That was Kerr and I believe Michelle.
It was Michelle, yeah.
But as Gaiman's coming off 3 and 4, ready to take the white flag lap, we are racing back for a finish here. 1 lap to go. Can Feather Place make up a half a second gap?
Big time question. I don't think the answer is going to be yes to that because Feather Place just lost another 2 tenths.
Yeah, Gaiman's been dialed in there. A little bit there. James Kerr almost hits the wall.
Whoa!
Kruger looks like she's making a move. That was a late move there. She wants another spot. She wants another position. They'll be side by side.
Whoa! Feemster gets tried to side draft and it didn't work. Josh Gaiman will come across the line to win at Texas. But they are side by side.
Yep, it's going to be Feather Place, Wanzing, Michelle, Mongold, Kruger will get 6, Reynolds will get 7th, Kerr, Sears, Proudfoot. That's how they're going to finish the top 10 here. And Reynolds and Kruger were side by side across the line. According to the radio, 2/100ths of a second for 6th position.
Doesn't get a lot closer than that.
And remember, Kruger didn't get any stage points. That's going to be good for her, at least for the next 2 rounds. Some other drivers had some good runs. Austin Mongo gets a top 5. Michelle had a good recover there after the incident with Bren Roberts, and then obviously the thing before that. And Feather Place, we said early in this race, he was kind of having some problems. We were kind of wondering, could he get back up front? And it looks like he proved us wrong, did. But Gaiman had that mistake, the choose cone violation. Used the whole second stage to drive up, used the third stage to get in position, and now he's race winner. Stefan Oberset will give him a little tap for support, and he is going to burn it down. And he will not have to worry about Talladega. He will not have to worry about the Charlotte Roval. He is advanced to the round of 8, and he's punched his ticket.
His last win came at Pocono.
Yep. He had a long drought similar to a few other drivers like Tommy Reynolds at the Beatron racing place, the Beatron racing team. And now he doesn't have to worry. Stress off that 61's back. He will still be fighting for a championship. At least for the next 2 to 5 weeks. Well, 2 weeks at the minimum because, stay. And then, yeah. But anyway, burn it down. Going to do a few little laps here. Now he's going to take the legend circuit here.
Not a bad effort for Josh Gaiman. Race winner tonight. We're going to see if we can calculate points here. Well, we talked to our race winner here momentarily. Josh Gaiman, winner here at Texas. A phenomenal job by the Beach Run Racing driver to break, not only to break that little win streak he had going on, but also break the winning streak that Sunday Monday Racing had from the last round.
Sunday Racing's no longer perfect in the playoffs. Beach-Run will spoil that party.
We'll start with third place. Seth Wansing. Gather his thoughts after coming so close but so far away from another race win. Seth, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy.
Gotcha, Carmen.
Third place. Another good result for that 9 crew tonight in the playoffs. Walk us through. That was a phenomenal race by that 9 crew, having to go from 17th on the grid. Walk us through why qualifying went so wrong and how you were able to get that 9 car all the way to the front of the field tonight.
Yeah, qualifying pancaked the wall on the first lap coming out of 4 and just didn't have a very good second lap. So just was patient coming up through the field. Got the 6th in the first stage, got the 4th in the second stage, and ended up 3rd. Anything but a win now sucks. So you know, probably had a car capable of winning. Just never could position myself right in that tight pack racing to kind of get the lead, and I suck at restarts apparently again. So hopefully built up a nice little points gap and try to survive the next 2 weeks with what we got.
Obviously, these playoffs have been particularly kind to the team. Tonight, not too often much different. Obviously, Bren Roberts had a bit of a struggle there, a hard impact for him. But you and Michelle, 3rd and 4th here, going into Talladega, a track that's going to rely a lot on that teamwork. Obviously, tonight, obviously not what you wanted to have, but do you have a lot of optimism going into Talladega here next week that you can get back in victory lane and get another one of those cars moved into the round of 8?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in our guys. If not at Talladega, definitely in the Roval with Bren and Daniel, obviously. I usually am a pretty good plate racer, but, I think my story's documented with you guys, Carmen, about my luck on plate tracks. Towards the end of races, doesn't seem to go my way. So, we'll try to get out of Talladega and try to stay up front and collect points and but pretty confident in our group. I'm pretty confident we can get all 3 cars to the round of 8 and then try to get all 3 in the round of 4. Just, you'd think I'd be more excited, but 3rd place sucks.
Especially after such a phenomenal round of 16 there. We can definitely get that. But a phenomenal run here tonight for that 9 crew. Obviously a phenomenal effort moving on into Talladega next week. Seth, a phenomenal podium nonetheless, phenomenal performance and a nice battle there, obviously in that top 5 all night long. Before we let you go and obviously let you regroup and plan out for Dega coming up here next week, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Again, congrats on a phenomenal 3rd place finish tonight.
Yeah, thank you to my guys at Sunday Money Racing. That's 3 podiums, 4 podiums in a row to start the playoffs for me. Couldn't do it without them. Thank you to you guys, Carmen and Kevin, for broadcasting every week. Again, can't wait to go back and watch it. Thank you to Midwest Barbecue and 213 Simware. Everybody at ARCS that puts on A Squared and everything else on, and thank you to everybody at home for listening. And we'll head on to next week to the big track and see if we can't turn the luck around there and keep this nice little top 3 streak going.
Absolutely. Seth, congratulations again on the phenomenal podium. That streak stays alive and moving into Talladega next week. Enjoy the podium, and we'll be hopefully talking to you again at the Super Speedway.
Thank you, Carmen.
That was Seth Wansing, 3rd place finisher tonight. We'll move on to the interviews. I see a couple of requests about what happened with Kevin Feemster. We'll see if we can go back and find that in a moment. But we'll talk to Brandon Fetterplace, 2nd place finisher tonight. Brandon, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. Got a copy?
I sure do. How you doing?
Pretty good. Obviously, a good battle there, especially having the restarts there at the end of the run. Walk us through that. Obviously, a very interesting call there at the end of the race, trying to get to that race win. Can I just walk us through your race? It was a very wild one all the way through.
Yeah, I entered this race with a game plan of saving tires, saving fuel, stuff like that. And on lap 4, all that went out the window after I packed the fence. So I had damage, and I was wondering why I couldn't turn anymore, and I fell from like 5th to like 13th, I think, at the first stage. And I just stayed, got all the damage fixed, had a decent run second stage, and third stage things just kind of started, people started overdriving, started wrecking, and it just kind of worked out for me. I mean, I almost got into an accident. I forget who that was that spun out in front of me. I think that was Reynolds and the 42, David Wright, I think.
Yeah.
So that was a Code Brown moment, but but I think all in all, it was a pretty decent race, pretty good race.
And so obviously still looking for that win in the A-Square playoffs here. Obviously, Talladega coming up next, a track that's been very friendly to Line Pound Motorsports over the last couple of years. How are you feeling going, obviously, not only into Talladega, but into the Charlotte Roval after that, trying to get one of those wins and get some bonus points into the round 8?
Statistically, super speedways aren't my favorite. I generally don't finish well there, but they are a crapshoot, so literally anyone can win. And like you said, we work really well together, Line Power. So, I'm hoping that we're able to stay up front, or make the right calls to be up front near the end and kind of see where that takes us.
This is going to be absolutely fantastic. Again, second place finish for Brandon Fetterplace tonight. Again, a decent team result. All 3 team drivers in the playoffs here in the top 10. Sears in 9th and Kruger in 6th. With Talladega coming up, a big team race coming up. Brandon, before we let you go and let you get ready for that race up ahead, I know you got a busy week racing and a bunch of other stuff as well. But if there's anyone you want to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats again on a phenomenal podium. Very close to another race win here in the A-Square Cup Series.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Battle Beaver for being on the car. Thank you to Line Power, my team, for all the help that they give me, all the information we pass back and forth during the races. It's a big help. Thank you to ABN for the fantastic broadcast. I can't wait to go back and watch it. And, thanks to everybody who's watching. I hope y'all enjoyed the show, and I'll see y'all next Sunday.
Absolutely a phenomenal race here by car 34. Brandon Fetterplace second tonight here at Texas, with Talladega coming up in 7 days' time. Brandon, enjoy the podium, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week.
I sure hope so. I can't wait.
Thank you. That was Brandon Fetterplace, second place finisher here tonight. We have one more interview on the docket, and that is that of Josh Gaiman, the race winner. We'll hear from him and how he got to victory lane tonight. Josh, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. Got a copy?
I got you, Carmen.
Phenomenal drive tonight. Another race win. Add into your collection. Your last one came at Pocono back in July. It was looking like it was almost 2 months to the day, 2 months and 1 day since your last race win in the series. Winless streak comes to an end at a very critical time. Walk us through it. Tonight was something special.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting to have that much speed. Just looking at practice and everything, I was a couple of tenths off really, and then found good race pace with the car and a line that worked for me that didn't really wear the right rear out too much once I was out in clean air, and I made a silly mistake like in the second stage there. I just kind of wasn't paying attention, I figured I could recover from it. It wasn't like I was running too far back, but just had to burn off that set of tires pretty quick.
Obviously, it was a wild race there. You had to start a couple of late race restarts there in overtime to hold on to it. How easy does this make Talladega, a track that's traditionally been horrible luck for you, to not even have to worry about Talladega next week and just kind of cruise into the round of 8?
Yeah, it's nice to go into it just like with no no worries for myself. I got 2 other teammates, that are in the playoffs as well. So it'll be nice to be able to, to help them get points and move forward. Just kind of follow them around wherever I need to go, and whatever needs to happen, just get it done.
Well, a lot of racing coming up. You get to see you again tomorrow night for the HTL Cup Series, but keeping yourself busy there all nonetheless. Before we let you go, and obviously let you celebrate your race win and get ready for the next week of racing coming up ahead, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, Josh, the floor is yours. Congrats again tonight. Another race win in the Ace Cup Series, and now punched in to the round of 8.
Yeah, shout out the Beach Run guys. It's cool of Jeremy to bring me on as much as we beat the crap out of each other last season. I guess it was just a right place, right time to show speed. And it sucks that he can't really make it anymore, and he's got a bit of a time crunch to on Sundays with work and stuff. So that's a shame, but the rest of the team's been working hard to improve and running like A-Fix and stuff like that to just put practice in and get used to racing in a crowd. Shout out to 213 Simware, McConey Setup Shop, W Energy. It's good to have them on board. ARCS for putting on this series, the whole draft and everything. It's been a blast to just see how it plays out, and I think the racing is definitely been better at some places, that had some rough ones last year. I've been having a lot of fun here, so hopefully everyone else is too. And shout out to you for putting on the broadcast every week.
Absolutely. It's been a phenomenal night here. Josh Gaiman, race winner tonight here at Texas. Let's see if we can do the same thing tomorrow night for the HTL Cup Series and go back-to-back on back-to-back nights. Josh, enjoy the race win, and hopefully get to talk to you again tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
That was Josh Gaiman, race winner here this evening. Some people asked to see what happened on that final restart. We'll go through the entire white flag restart here, or the final all overtime restart here, as everything sort of got ready to get underway. Again, this is the restart here. Fetter Place had a really good launch there in second place, looking at Kevin Feemster, who got jumped all the way down to 12th at the end of this race. And we're going to see why. He was looking for a really good move, a little loose there on the exit of 2. 2 tires on that 21 car. Had to hold on for 3 miles, and that was just a little bit too much to ask. A little bit for the back, you saw Michelle and Kerr side by side. But now those tires come up with the temperature. Austin Mongold's going to force his way through. Feemster gets mugged by 2 positions there. Kruger moves to the inside, all the way to the inside. Feemster's trying to block it. Only so much that can happen there. Kruger gets a little loose. And it just shuffles Feemster all the way up and all the way out.
That pack. Look at Donald Ray going through the grass, and then there's across the line sideways for some. Proudfoot going, basically taking the bumps across the, passes it sideways, if you will.
Yeah, a lot of cars, essentially 4 wide there, outside the top 10. But that's how Feemster went from 4th place, or really 5th place, down to the 12th position. Full results here coming up. Here's what things look like here for the front runners there. Josh Gaiman, the race winner. Brandon Fetta placed. Seth Wansing, top 3. Daniel Michelle in 4th. Ahead of Austin Mongold and Emma Kruger. Tommy Reynolds in 7th. James Kerr, Tom Sears, Brendan Proudfoot rounding out the top 10 here tonight. Stephen Oberstadt just missed out on the top 10. Finished 11th ahead of Kevin Feemster. Patrick Oberstadt in 13th. Then David Wright, Donald Ray, and Elvis George finishing on the lead lap. 4 cars did not see the finish of this race, and they were all down at the bottom order of the field. Ryan Pinnell in 17th, Edward Marshall 18th, Brendan Robertson 19th place, and then Tommy Withers in 20th. Points as they run This is what the playoffs look like now. The top 12 all marked in red, from Ryan Pinnell in 12th to Dana Michelle at the top. Josh Gaiman punches ticket in. He is good to go to the round of 8. Michelle, however, still leads the point situation by 1 over Josh Gaiman. Seth Wansing in 3rd. Then it's Reynolds, Fetter Place, and Sears in the top 6. Overset and Bryn Roberts at that cut line. Level with Emma Kruger after 1 race in the round of 12. 3,031 points is the margin. So, and obviously Bryn Roberts has wins. He's got the tiebreaker over Emma Kruger there. So that's why Roberts has got 8th place right now. Kruger, Wright, Feimster, Pinnell all need to find some way to make it happen next week at Talladega.
Yeah, you got Talladega. That's going to be a wild card race for a lot. For some, that may be I wouldn't say their last chance, but their best chance, because for some, they're really not good at road courses. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out through the next 2 rounds. And all we know right now is Gaiman, he doesn't have to worry about that. He's good. Everyone else, they're going to have to fight over the next 2 weeks to try to get into the round of 8.
Absolutely. Tomorrow night, we will be live, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, for ABN Countdown to Green for the HTL Cup Series. 8 o'clock p.m. on ABN Esports 1, right back here. We'll be live for the HTL Cup Series race coming up, again, 8 p.m. tomorrow night for that. And then stay tuned tomorrow night after the HTL Cup Series race back on ABN Esports 2. I'll be going live, streaming the new Cyberpunk 2077 DLC. Some non-racing content tomorrow evening. We hope to see you all there for a wonderful and busy day tomorrow here on the ABN channel of networks. On behalf of everyone here for ARCS and all of their partners, Midwest Barbecue and Darkside Mustangs, and everyone here at ABN Studios. On behalf of my commentator Kevin Young, I'm Carmen Sienna. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun. But we'll see you tomorrow night at Fontana. Until then, so long, everybody.